So Ethan, you teach guitar at Kalamazoo Music School, and you're a guitarist and composer. Are you also a songwriter?
Yeah, I like to think of myself as mostly a songwriter. I used to be much more of a performer, but songwriting is where I get most energy and where I feel like I'm I guess accomplishing the most that I want to with music. Whereas performing, I'm usually just having a lot of fun, you know?
That's interesting. What do you feel like you're accomplishing? You mean like for you personally as an artist or for
Yeah,
your contribution?
yeah. For me as an artist, definitely. Um, how deep can I get with this answer? Deep. Okay. So there's a sonnet by Edmund Spencer where he talks about immortalizing. Well, he's writing his love interest's name on the sand, and she says, "Why are you writing my name in the sand? The waves will come and wash it away as soon as it's written." And he says, "Not so, because uh, our love will be immortalized in these lines." And here I am reading that poem 400 years later, and not that that was like an awakening for me, but looking back on it, it just talks to the power that art has. Because when you're, and not that everybody in the world is gonna, hear my songs, but there's a part of me that's written down on a page or recorded on a computer somewhere, that's like my voice, maybe what I love or what I'm frustrated about, or even what I think about the human condition, if I'm feeling, I don't know, really artisty, but yeah, something about creating something and then having like that physical copy or that digital copy, or even just knowing it in your head. That's something, there's a part of you that kind of has shape, that's been immortalized, if you will. Yeah.
Mm, nice. So this week we're talking about the basic creative principles that Julia Cameron offers up in her book, The Artist's Way. And
Hmm.
some of those principles I pulled out for our students and our faculty to look at. They are: life is pure creative energy. There's an indwelling force creatively inside all of life, including me. Being creative is part of being human. It is safe for me to grow into a more creative person. As I create, it powerfully changes me and those around me. And my creative dreams and ideas are important for my own life and also a gift to others. So what of those really stick out to you? Like what's meaningful to you there that she offers up?
Yeah. Being creative is a part of being human. I mean, I like that a lot. um, because I think, humans at our core, we are creative and we long to create. And there are people that, spend their lives creating, and and there's all sorts of different creations, right? So,
Exactly.
sorry, you're right. Everybody is creative. Look at me already forgetting tenant number two. No, everybody is creative, right? But there's just different types of creativeness. I mean, and there's different types of things that people want to spend that creative energy on. And and the thing is, they're not all physical either, right? Like they're not all like, oh, it's written down. How creative. Sometimes it's relationships,
Exactly.
and so being creative is a part of being human. Absolutely. We're always innovating, always inventing, and always trying to capture the essence of being human, whatever that means, and as it changes or as it stays the same.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
well, do you want me to speak on another one
Sure. I
okay.
mean, yeah.
Um, I think as I create, it powerfully changes me and those around me. I
Mm.
resonate a lot with that too, because like kind of what I was talking about earlier, feeling like you have a part of yourself that's been out there, that's been shared, and that's not just like when you spend time creating something, there's beauty to it, right? Um, no matter what anybody else says, there is beauty in a creation. Because creating something, you get better at it. You learn more about yourself, seeing a part of you kind of developed and out in the open. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just curious, what area of your life do you feel the most connected to your creativity or that creative energy?
I would probably say number one in community.
Hmm.
Well, I guess, yeah, in community, and that's probably yeah, like, so it can look a few different ways. So me, I'm a Christian, and so community to me means being in connection with the Holy Spirit. Like, so I can be by myself and still be in communion. I still, am creating with something else, especially in performance environments. When I'm with a band, I feel immensely creative, especially if my fellow performers are encouraging and positive. Most of my kind of best things I've done, I feel like, have been with other people in the moment playing, and they're playing amazingly, cheers me on, I start playing great, and everybody's just having a great time, and that's I think that's a really powerful environment to create, for sure.
So you said actually a couple of things. You talked about like communing with the Holy Spirit, and then you also
Yeah.
talked about communing with other musicians. Is it all
Hmm.
kind of one thing, or they can be different?
Yeah. uh so yeah, looking back, it's usually when I'm writing, I'm by myself. I've tried writing with other people, and that doesn't work with my personality, and with the personalities with whom I've tried it, because there's always a standard for what you want. And also when you're creating it, it's deeply personal in some ways. And so it's kind of like, if you're sharing parts of yourself that's being edited by somebody else, it can get a little touchy, but it can be done, and it can create a better product, I think. But again, it depends on whether you're going for a product or an art piece,
Right,
I
like in a
think.
self-expression.
Right. Because like, if I'm working on my senior recital, I'm not going to try and appeal to the masses. I'm going to write a piece about, encapsulating my time in college, right?
Mhm.
Which maybe not a lot of people are going to be like, oh, hey, let me throw that on while I drive to work. You know what I mean? But, and it's a creation, it's a piece of art. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm a solo creator.
Yeah.
Um, and I hear what you're saying. I think when we create with others, there's this other capacity for things to
Hmm.
go different directions. But is that really my role as an artist? On the stage, yes, but in the writing process, no.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's a lot of times when I write, it's trying to figure out the voice in my head. Like, oh, what am I already hearing? Let me write that down on a page. And then when somebody else's voice comes in, it's kind of like, well, your vision and my vision, neither of them are on the page right now, but they're not quite meshing up. So I don't want to put it on the page.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, as with all, community, it takes work and it takes sacrifice. So.
for sure. So, what would you advise your students or like any, budding guitar player or songwriter? How would you encourage them in their creativity?
Uh, yeah, I would say, like, find the things that you really like, as like the music um, that you really like, and learn that. Because if you're not learning music you really like, then you're not really going to be inspired, right? And that's not to say don't try new music, because the more you try new music, the more music you're going to like.
Exactly.
I listened to heavy metal for the first time in like ninth grade. And I was like, what is this? This is ridiculous. My brother was listening to it when he was working out or something. And then a week later, I'm like singing those high notes and, man, air jam into those guitar notes. So it's like, yes, explore, but also explore within the realms of like being you, you know,
Yeah.
don't don't push to past being yourself. Like find the music that's going to grow you as a person, really listen to it and really learn it, because you want to respect that music and do a good job of learning it so that you can further it, so that you can create your own music that's inspired by it.
Hmm.
um yeah, it's all a journey, and I would say if you're only writing 5-second songs, keep doing that and then write a 10-second song. You know, it's all a journey, a process. Just keep writing, keep creating. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah, I love what you said though about making sure that what you put in your path resonates with you. I think that was one of the hardest things about going to music school for me, is that, they're trying to put all this stuff in your path, and a lot of it's
Yeah,
great. It all like opens your ears and widens your
right.
sphere of influence. But I had to throw out a lot of that because a lot of it had nothing to do with my purpose and my,
Hmm.
like, it didn't resonate in the way that I
Right.
something to. So
Exactly.
good advice.
Exactly. And then I was kind of like evaluating my own musical interests and like, okay, well, what do I really want to do? I love playing jazz. I love playing bebop. I'm okay at it. I could be better at it if I practice, but I spend my time writing and I spend my time, you know, focusing on the things that I enjoy, and that's, you know, gonna not only enrich my musical life, but give me more energy for the other areas of my life too.
For sure.
So